From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode, we asked the pros about grant submissions and grant management in our Access to Capital segment. Eskenazi Health is teaming up with HBCUs to provide internships, and the Morales Group shares its success story.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Welcome again to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. It is time for Access to Capital. Today we're talking about grants, how to submit them, how to manage them. For insight, we turn to the professionals.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to Capital.
Sunny Lou Williams is the CEO of TechServe, a project management and consultancy firm founded by her grandmother 30 years ago. The company serves the healthcare, higher education, and public safety communities.
A grant is a specific method of providing funding through a narrative and data-driven application that shares a well-packaged story about who you are as an organization, what you do, and why your services support and impact a particular population, and how that funder's aligned strategy fits with yours to ensure that that project through that funding comes to fruition. That's probably not the textbook definition of grants, but in the way that TechServe operates grants, we are literally matchmaking grant administrators and makers to community-based projects. And now when I say community-based projects, I don't just mean nonprofit organizations. I mean a state strategy. I mean a national strategy. I mean a country strategy, right? Because in this world of capital, it's those who grant dollars and those who receive dollars. So the grant is itself a system that says, if you abide by these instructions, these processes, and this ability to communicate with your funder, then we will fund what it is that you want to do. But the language of grant writing has taken me personally through three very different learning modalities. I was a liberal arts undergrad at Purdue, which it's well touted for its phenomenal engineering and other well-known departments, but very well kept secret, a phenomenal liberal arts history and political science department. And so that education literally taught me how to do the technical writing, how to research, how to pull the data, how to show comparative analytics, and the actual why this place, us as an organization, and really translate both the story and the data into a working project plan. So I'm not saying that everyone needs to have a Purdue liberal arts undergraduate degree to know how to do grant writing, but you do have to understand that the same processes and systems that led to the creation of those actual schools of thought and frameworks are also predominantly the methodologies and approaches that our grant funders utilize in their creation of the system of the grant vehicle. The second component is I have an MBA from Kelley School of Business. So I know how to work a budget. I know how to go through and pull all of the IRS figures, right? So did you know mileage, right? It's a different number based upon the actual range of what is the per gallon amount at the pump. And so you need to be able to work those tables and pull that information. And beyond that, of just being able to put together a simple budget, so personnel, fringe benefits, training costs, materials costs, equipment costs. You have to understand the definition difference between what's equipment and what's categorized as supply. Then the third piece has really been a key study in how our federal agencies work. I unfortunately don't have a certificate program to point viewers to, but it's literally reading about the history of a federal agency, the strategic initiatives of that agency. What has that agency funded in the past? Every single organization has a strategy. They have a mission, a vision, and value. And if you don't start there, then you don't understand truly the fundamentals of the intent of that agency. Then, as we all know, a written document doesn't always convey everything in strategy sessions for those funders, right? So having a relationship is important, not just a relationship for that grant opportunity, but an overall relationship to say, I care as a taxpayer what this agency is doing and how that agency is intending to better the lives of the residents of the U.S. that it serves. The federal budget is that fundamental document. The federal budget is a system unto itself. And it is a budget that showcases to you what's going to be funded where. Follow the money. And then ultimately, it is a look into federal agencies have to vie for those dollars just like we look at what is the best fit in application. And when there's a reallocation or when there's new budget, you know something big is about to happen. So all of those data sets are there. And I hail back to what my grandmother said, which is read the instructions, understand the process, work it, then figure out how to navigate the system. Too many people ask the question, how do I get the money? They're not asking the strategic question of what do you want to fund? How do you want to fund it? Here's what we do. What is the best way to package that to provide a strategic collaboration ongoing?
Employers on this show often tell us they want a workforce that reflects the communities they serve. In the world of human resources, that can mean forming partnerships with like-minded organizations.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, running your business day to day.
Diversity is at the heart of a partnership between Eskenazi Health and the country's historically black colleges and universities. Christia Hicks is the Chief Human Resources Officer for Eskenazi Health.
Very excited about our connections to the community overall. And 3 years ago, we launched a program for our students from historically black colleges and universities for summer interns. So they have an opportunity to come for an 8-week paid summer internship experience here at Eskenazi Health. We know that historically, HBCUs have educated outstanding black professionals in the community. And Eskenazi Health, we're committed to providing opportunities to the community that we serve. So we thought, what a great opportunity to bring students from the state of Indiana who are in graduate or undergraduate programs that are attending HBCUs to come and to spend 8 weeks here with us and learn in their respective fields. Now, the great thing about Eskenazi Health is there are tons of opportunities. If there's something that you want to do, you can do it here in a hospital. You can pursue a career in your traditional clinical roles like nursing, doctor, but then we have a lot of non-clinical opportunities. You may want to work in human resources. You may want to work in our business office. You may want to do IT or finance. And so this is really a training ground for those students, and our employees learn just as much from the students as the students learn from our employees. And so for 8 weeks in the summer, we welcome the students here to Eskenazi Health. And the cherry on top is it's not just about an internship, but they get professional development opportunities. So we'll teach them about interviewing. We'll teach them about resume writing. We'll give them a DISC assessment so they can learn about their own intrinsic values and that they'll have to sell and offer to an organization as they leave. And then, of course, the mentoring that takes place. And so very excited about our HBCU summer internship program. So if people are interested, the applications are open now, and they'll be open for the month of February, and we will provide 12 paid internships to students from historically black colleges and universities. Our HBCU program has become a tremendous pipeline for employees. So one of our students that was in the first year, Ryan Williams, he was from Morehouse College, that great institution in Atlanta, Georgia. He is now an employee in our organization and is an internal champion for this program. So just very excited about providing opportunities for the students, but also the enrichment that comes to the organization as a result of their presence.
I went to Morehouse College. It's a private school in Atlanta, Georgia, a historically black college. Yeah. So my sister had found out that I had not only worked for Eskenazi once, but now twice now. And she was like, okay, so what kind of programs are they serving? And a good friend of mine, Christian Hicks, got into contact with me and said, we're running a new program to bring in more diversity with African Americans in the health program. So that's what I told her about, I told my sister about, and she got on board with it. I showed her the ropes and she took it from there. Well, I think it's important for me because it gives me a start. You know, a lot of people don't know what they're going to do when they come out of college, and I feel like this gives me at least somewhat of a plan. Well, going forward, I think that it's helped me tremendously. I work with almost every single unit in the hospital, whether it be a nurse, transport, even, you know, janitors or custodial teams. Like, I've worked with surgeons, I've seen them in action, doctors. I feel like other businesses should give people the opportunity to learn, because I feel like that's what Eskenazi does here. It's a teaching hospital from what I've seen, and they do a lot of taking students under their wings, regardless of who it is, whether it's a doctor or a physical therapist. They take a lot of people under their wings, and they're able to show them how to become a physical therapist, how to talk to people, how to treat people, you know, how to even talk to the people that they work with, their co-workers, and how to get their patients in the best situation possible. So,
you know, it's a very humbling experience, and to understand that I have not only 4,600 employees that I'm responsible for, but each and every person that comes through in terms of culture. And I take it very seriously. And at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I remain faithful to what I was assigned to do. Professional development, creating opportunities, removing barriers, really to uplift and enhance the lives of our employees. That's what my job is. That's what wakes me up every day. That's what brings me in here to start a new day when, you know, I know things are getting rough. But, you know, really staying committed to making sure our employees have all the tools and resources they need to do their jobs effectively and to take care of our community that we're so privileged to serve.
We wrap things up with our success story. This week, a mission to build better futures, one story at a time.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
Seth Morales is the CEO of the Morales Group, an Indianapolis-based MBE staffing company matching the right candidate to the right career.
So a little bit about myself. 20 plus years ago, I was a football player at Purdue University. I walked on to play on a team that was really good at the time. We had a quarterback named Drew Brees, and I was able and fortunate enough to walk on and become a starter for 3 years and have some success with that team. My claim to fame, I caught the game-winning touchdown pass from Drew Brees to beat Ohio State and to go on to the Rose Bowl. But that kind of moment in time kind of has transferred over into just my life and the profession, just in the business world today. I think taking some of those life experiences of being an underdog and really trying to make the most of it, that was an opportunity for me to come here and work at Morales Group. So Morales Group, it's kind of a cool story. 20 years ago in July, the company started, and I was graduating from Purdue, and my dad started the company up. And his whole mindset was, let's create a business to serve the community and build a better future. And he wanted to give back and find a way to do that. And the one way he thought he could do that was starting a staffing company. And so Morales Group founded, So as he was kind of starting the company up and I was coming out of Butler, he came from humble beginnings. His parents were tomato migrant workers. They wanted to provide a better future for him. He went to Purdue and became an engineer. And then eventually, 20 plus years later, being in the corporate world, he came over and started this company on his own. We all just kind of collided at the same time. He was starting the business. I was hungry. I was coming off of Purdue. I thought I could help. So we kind of had this chip on our shoulder, coming from just humble beginnings, and had a little bit of grit. And that's, how we came to Morales Group and me finding the company. And so I was employee number 5. We didn't have a lot going on at that time. It was fun to just get the business going, but that was kind of the origin of how we got started. I think those humble beginnings and roots really kind of laid the foundation for how we wanted to run and play this offensive style at Morales Group. Foundationally, we thought we could become a cause disguised as a business and a way to really serve the community and lift up people by providing them a job. And so I think those humble beginnings really kind of created our core values, which are be humble, be courageous, and be a light. And they're simple, they're easy to apply just with how you run and operate your business every day. And we think it has an impact on what we do in the community, and it also transfers over to how we provide people jobs. So I think that kind of premise of being humble, being courageous, and being a light, and just our background kind of helped lay the foundation for how we got started. I feel like we're the United Nations of staffing. When you open our doors and you see all the flags and the vibrant colors and different countries represented, I believe our internal team is 75% or higher diverse, and then our external workforce is almost 90% diverse. So a lot of different backgrounds and countries represented. But we feel like strengths lie in differences, not similarities, and we see it as, hey, these people want an opportunity. We can open the door and be the front door to, a stepping stone or a career. And there's so many wonderful examples of how we've been kind of that first opportunity for somebody to kind of make a way and create that kind of American dream machine. And so we feel that's our job, to kind of be that steward of that opportunity. Yeah, diversity is great business. I think when you have different backgrounds and perspectives, you get a different type of collaboration that's not homogeneous, and you can think and act and make decisions in a more creative way and maybe in a quicker way. And so we've seen a lot of companies come to us to say, hey, what are you doing that makes your culture so sticky and engaged? And we talk a lot about diversity and why that matters, and how the strengths of a diverse workforce and diverse mindset really helps us innovate as a company, collaborate. And so my encouragement is, when I'm talking to a lot of these organizations and companies looking to kind of diversify their team, we encourage them to look for leaders first at the top. You got to look and speak different and have that understanding. And then also just live it. There's a lot of companies that give you a lot of lip service today about diversity, but don't really live it out. And so when you walk through our four walls, and you see the teammates here, you know that it's kind of walked and talked about. I think what really kind of stokes my fire is seeing the stories that we're building for others. I feel like this is a platform to give back. And when you employ several thousands of people who want an opportunity, and you're a part of, opening that front door and welcoming them into the house and then providing them that opportunity, it's a real responsibility. And so that's what I get excited about. I think the impact of really making and changing somebody's life. I can't tell you how many different stories of people and how they've come to meet Morales Group, and how it's made a difference and impacted not only their career, but also their family and their future generations. So that's what's inspiring. That's what kind of stokes the fire for me, and I think a lot of our teammates. Having companies that we work with who want to give us an opportunity. So there's companies like Eli Lilly and Cummins that have a lot of diversity supplier spend, and we're a minority-owned business. And so matching the two and mentoring and protéging these companies to be strategic suppliers to these big companies, it has a big impact. And there's a lot of small to mid-sized companies that are minority-based, and it's great when you can find a larger company who can bring in a smaller business and kind of leverage the supplier diversity angle and really kind of just, I think, rising tides raise all boats.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, beoshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.